Welcome back. Long time no see. It is good to have all of you guys back here again. We are the Cool Cat Gang, and you are watching the Any Pro League Super Mario Odyssey tournament. I'm here again with the amazing Combo for hopefully another really great race. How are you feeling about this one, Combo?
I think if I'm looking at these times, it's going to be even more close if we're lucky. Going to give us another few cardiac problems, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm just saying, can I mention like what's it called? Like I have a small favoritism for Danny because we're the same country, so.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, we have Netherlands versus France today. It'll be a very interesting race. I mean, the one that we just saw was unbelievably close, and that was with nearly a minute between the PBs. So with quite a small PB cap, I'm really excited to see how today goes. Looks like we have both runners in the booth for a short pre-game interview. So we'll start with LightRon. How are you feeling today, LightRon?
I'm feeling good. Excited about this race tonight. I'm gonna do my best. Danny's really good, and I really want to put out a good time against him.
Exactly, that's a great mindset to have. I'm glad you're feeling excited. And like you said, no matter what happens, if you just pull out as good of a run as you can, you know, even if Danny plays really well, you'll know that you did as best as you could, and we'll hopefully have a very fun time.
Definitely, yeah. And Danny, how are you feeling? I would start talking Dutch to you, but they have to understand the rest has to understand, man.
Too bad for you. I hate Dutch, so it doesn't matter. I'm really nervous because I feel like, yeah, especially now, I think Ron is a lot more consistent than me. I've not been playing that well recently. Having a hard time pulling out 2 hours, so I'll see how this one goes. I'll play pretty safe, but I don't know how much time it's gonna lose me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be really interesting then, because LightRon is definitely a very consistent runner, and yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah,
I'm
we're gonna
super
have to wait and
excited to see how
see.
this turns out. Best of luck to both of you. I
Yeah,
really
good luck,
hope
you
you
guys.
both play really well and give us a very entertaining match to watch. When you're ready up in the race room, and let's get this underway.
Yeah, good luck, you guys. You got this.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, yeah. Okay. After those pre-games, I'm excited about this one. I mean, you know, obviously very close PB gap, and then Danny being nervous. Danny being nervous about this race, despite having a 30-second better PB. LightRon was also pretty confident, so I think these guys will be a very level playing field right now.
I mean, you know, how do you say that? Statistically speaking, yeah, Danny has a lower PB or a better PB, I guess, than LightRon. So that is another point. But again, confidence does, you know, show in most races. So we're gonna have to wait and see how this one plays out.
Definitely, and another very exciting thing. So you have a double face cam. I have never seen a double face cam race.
I mean, excuse me.
Very nice.
I just had a snack, all right? No, but I'm sorry.
You're good. Yeah, it's very rare to see even one runner with face cams.
Yeah,
both runners showing that's very cool.
One of the things that I saw, like how you can kind of compare it, is they're kind of like facing towards each other. You know, Danny facing to the right and
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're facing off. You know, just like a boxing match. They're doing like a head-on.
Really
you know.
Cool. We'll see their reactions to everything that goes on. Very cool stuff.
Definitely, both of them pulling the best poker face they have. You know, both of them might be a little bit nervous. I mean, Danny said he was nervous. Ron said he was confident, but you never know. You know.
I mean, nerves are definitely always play. Like it, you know, if any of you in chat haven't done an SMO race before, like even in kind of one of the more beginner-friendly tournaments, they are nerve-wracking. They are absolutely terrifying. I mean, it's these first couple kingdoms, like just, you know, pressing start on the game and skipping all your cutscenes and stuff. Like your hands are shaking, right?
Like Zach, you remember the time when we had our like my comeback race, right? With me, you, and Killian. When I I like as soon as like the race timer started or like we started running, like my skin was crawling.
Exactly.
Literally, I had how do you say that? I had goosebumps. quite literally.
Yeah.
So yeah, like especially in a big race like this, like the big pro league, you know, like the nerds must be off the charts.
Yeah, and with 2 runs, it's so evenly matched. But Danny is pulling ahead out of Cat King by just a couple of seconds. I'm not exactly sure what it was. I don't know if LightRon did any mistakes or if it was just generally some slight faster movement. But there we go.
Yeah.
Yo, chat.
Yo, let's go. What's up, chat? Okay. Yeah, this makes commentating easier. My streamer instincts are kicking in.
Alright, my hay fever only ever comes out when I stop commentating matches, so I'm just gonna go grab a tablet real quick, because my eyes are like sandpaper.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, I will be taking over for now. Danny going towards the first moon, nothing too exciting so far. Waiting to see if either of those runners are gonna do DSS. I do not recall if Ron does DSS, but both of them are 58, especially Danny being low 58. But one factor does play in which he said in his interview that he is going to play it safe, so we might not see a DSS from Danny. No DSS from Danny. And no DSS from Ron. Alright, that is very interesting to see. I mean, it's very understandable because, you know, it's still a race, as we have covered previous race. You know, it's not something you can kind of, you know, you can't really do a rematch. It's not really traditional, so yeah. If you, like, you shouldn't do any strats that, you know, you don't feel confident about. I mean, it'd be a whole nother story if you were not confident about Dino Skip. You kind of do have to do Dino Skip, unfortunately, sometimes.
Alright, this is going to be an extraordinarily fun match for me because I cannot find my hay fever tablets anywhere.
Oh no.
Oh, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. I'll manage. How's the race looking? What happened while I was gone?
You want me to mail some over?
Well, you know, it's because I'm moving out of my uni accommodation very, very soon. So there are boxes and bags absolutely littering everything. And I must just misplace them somewhere, and it's going to be a pain to find, so I'm sure I'll manage. Alright, looks like the lead is still pretty much the same. Wait, what? Yeah, the lead's still pretty much the same as it was out of cap, about 4 seconds.
Definitely. I do have I did make one comment about neither of them going for DSS, even with them having like Danny having a low 58.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think I've seen a single DSS yet in the tournament. Doesn't mean it hasn't happened. Well, I'm not there.
Now,
but
imagine
yeah,
if
even
that
like the 57 runners
finale.
have been skipping it.
That would make for a pretty good finale to watch.
Yeah.
Like, imagine, like, during the finale, you know, like, every, you know, they're going for all the strats, you know, that would be so insane.
That would be really cool, yeah.
But we are not there yet. We still have to go through the second round, I'm saying? I don't know how this one
These
works.
are still the qualifiers. This is still the first round.
Oh. Yeah, so, you know, still a lot of very exciting races to come before we get to that, you know, that final race, that final showdown. We still have to pick out who is gonna face off against who.
Yeah, really excited to see. And here we are heading into Sand Kingdom, famously very difficult kingdom, where a lot can happen. So let's see how these runners handle it. I mean, I imagine both runners will be doing the same kind of strats and routes. We're going to probably see reverse town from both, as well as definitely platform clip.
Danny going for reverse town. Don't know about Ron. Ron also going for reverse town.
Understandably.
Love to see it. It was a little bit of a surprise in previous race, especially knowing it came from Bugfish.
It was, yeah, it was Bugfish, yeah.
But you know, with these two racers both having a 58, it's not that big of a surprise anymore. And both of them heading out in a moment. Let's see how this Bird Moon goes, because I don't know if it's very notorious to go wrong in races.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen many mess-ups of it. And I mean, I think, although it does look very difficult, and it definitely is, especially with the first time you try it.
Ooh!
Oh, I take back what I said. I was about to say, I think at this level it is quite consistent for these runners. But there we go, LightRon unfortunately missing the bird there. I mean, you know, he managed to grab the bird and he just missed the moon, which is the better outcome, because if you miss the bird initially, then it can be flying away all over the map. Definitely. And that can end really, really badly, because you either have to chase it around the map or try and think of one extra moon that you can grab somewhere to fill in for it.
Yeah, like that's the big difference between doing reverse town and not doing reverse town. Like if you don't do reverse town, you know, you miss the bird at the first try, you know, it's all whatever, because, you know, there's a second attempt. When this goes wrong and you miss the bird, then yeah, you're really gonna have to start, you know, working those cogs up there, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, both runners going for a platform clip here in a bit.
Yeah, absolutely wouldn't expect any less. Very nice reverse Jaxi there from Danny. Very easy place to die and lose a run. Is that moon right there?
And, you know, it's still a very, you know, a very young race so far, but Zach, I do have to ask, do you expect any spiritless attempts in a while?
Oh, I absolutely see both these runners going for spiritless. I mean, around the 58 level is when people will definitely start seriously implementing it, although, you know, obviously we saw it with the previous race, the fifth... Who was it? I've already forgotten who was in the previous race. Hotboy, of course.
Hotboy, yeah.
Hotboy with a low 59 going for spiritless in a race, so it would really surprise me if these runners didn't, but obviously it is also very difficult and very inconsistent.
Definitely, yeah. Both runners having a clean platform cycle. I don't know if any of them missed any cycles. I'm definitely
Ron's was a little bit on the slow side, but absolutely nothing catastrophic at all. I mean, you know, probably only losing about a second to that.
And I do have to say, I'm a little bit surprised that Danny has managed a lead this big so far. Because, you know, he said, you know, he mentioned him being nervous. And, you know, Ron speaking with full confidence. You know, it's quite a bit like, I mean, it's not that big of a surprise because there's still like a 30-second difference, but, you know, still.
Yeah, I mean, I think nerves are going to play in no matter what, but often, you know, we talk about nerves like a negative thing, but I think a lot of the time they can also really help focus you. Because there is definitely a technique to channeling those nerves and helping, you know, making them help you to just focus on the run and pull things out as much as a bad effect as they can have too. So that's probably what Danny's brain is kind of looking like right now. And he also said he'd be going for the safer strats, which will just be a good way to help kind of keep his lead once he gets one. But yeah, I mean, we're looking at about a 15-second lead for Danny right now, which is pretty significant out of the Third Kingdom. And he's going to be really hoping that he can kind of just keep it, maybe build up a couple more seconds before the really heavy hitters like Wooded and Metro come around.
Definitely. I mean, in comparison to like the later kingdoms, like we are still in, you know, the relaxing phase, so to say, of the run. Like it's when you enter Wooded when it gets really serious.
Yeah, that's when heat really turns up.
All right, Danny not going for triple jump here. Ron did speak with confidence again. Let's see how he does it.
Yeah, Danny with a very clean late clip though. Absolutely no problems there.
Not going for triple jump. Let me check out the stats sheet. Speaking of which, that's not the command. Can you help me out?
I've got it. Yeah, the stat sheet, we can actually see which strats all these runners go for and the consistency with it and stuff. And I mean, yeah, triple jump late clip isn't actually on the stat sheet right now because it's a very new
Definitely.
kind of arrival, and I don't think many runs are really going for it because it is very difficult.
Definitely. Yeah. Let's see how the rest of this goes. I'm not expecting many blunders. The biggest,
yeah, I mean,
you
once
know,
you get
risk.
past late clip, it's pretty solid.
Yeah, definitely. That's crazy because, you know, a lot of runners do consider Lake to be like like a pretty scary kingdom just because of Lake clip and the route, you know, compared to that.
Exactly. I mean, we saw that Danny going for the little first-person wall clip there. Definitely not an easy one to pull off. Like that, can lose quite a bit of time for the time that it could save. And LightRon obviously just going inside of the room.
Yeah.
I've heard that first-person clip saves like 0.4, something like that, if you do it really well. So not a huge time save, especially for a race environment like this, where Danny will probably just want to be keeping his lead instead of risking it. But you know, I mean, if he's consistent with it, then, you know, hats off to him.
Seeing a 12:52 or 12:53 from Danny here, absolutely insane. 12.5x, you love to see it.
Yeah, sub 13 late exit is really, really good. Exactly what he's going to be aiming for in this race. And LightRon not too far behind with a 13-10, giving Danny a 17-second lead into Wooded. Pretty big lead. Definitely not something that LightRon can't catch up on, but it's going to be pretty difficult, especially, you know, in a short time frame. Like, this might be something which LightRon has to chip away at for, honestly, most of the run until he gets kind of late game, where he might actually have shrunken it enough to be able to reclaim it. You know, that's provided Danny doesn't make any big mistakes, and with the nerves that he's been talking about, there is a good chance of that happening.
Speaking of, you know, nerves and intensity, we are entering Wooded here with LightRon missing the first throw of the rock. Like a 2-second mistake, I think that is.
Something
Not
like
too
that.
sure. Yeah, and as we might know, Wooded is an absolute... Danny?
Danny?
Is he taking it that safe?
I'm very confused right now. Danny appears to have skipped over a moon. Is this a route that I am not familiar with? Because, as you see, LightRon right now is...
Danny?
He clipped back in bounds! That is very, very sad for Danny. I mean, as we can see, LightRon is heading up and grabbing this tree moon right now, which Danny just completely skipped and still isn't going back for. I have no idea what his game plan is.
Danny definitely not being too happy about that.
Yeah, no, he's really frustrated about that, and understandably so. I mean, I've heard people saying that I think it is just the piranha plant moon. It's like barely slower than the tree moon. Yeah, Danny skipped the tree, Dan. I'm not sure what that is about. If anyone could educate me, please do, because it's not something I've really seen before. But yeah, so you see LightRon there grab that moon after getting that clip out of bounds.
He did then.
Danny accidentally flipped back in. Yeah, I'm not really sure what he's attempting to do, because he didn't go back and get the tree moon after missing nut clip, which means even if he gets the piranha plant moon right now, you know, he has nothing he can do.
I am mighty confused right now. What is his game plan here?
He's gonna be missing a moon. Going for a poison jump there too. I mean, you know, that's a frame perfect trick. That isn't something that I would expect anyone to just be going for as a piece of movement in a run.
I am flabbergasted.
Yeah, I'm flabbergasted. But here he is. He is now collecting the piranha plant moon, which LightRon is going to be skipping in a second. So even though it looks like Danny is the lead right now, LightRon is very quickly going to overtake him. And Danny is missing a moon. And I'm very interested to see what his game plan in collecting this is, because off the top of my head, I can't think of any others he could get as a backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Danster.
Oh, what, Ron?
Ron missed FRS, but backed it up very nicely. Managed to avoid the death there, which is really, really good for him. Because death and FRS there, I don't think he got the checkpoint. That could have been really, really bad news.
Definitely. Commentator being a little bit confused, flabbergasted, does not know how to deal with the many rush of emotions going through his head right now. Like, what is going on in this Wooded today?
This Wooded is very strange for both runners. Yeah, Sarah, and that's the kind of thing that I would do. If I was one moon behind, I would grab the checkpoint for Spew It, go down, grab Nut around the corner, and then warp up and do Spew It. But I think he's probably going to be going for the Fireborough in the cave. But again, I honestly wish he didn't miss Nut Clip there, because I really want to know what his game plan would have been otherwise, since he did skip the Tree Moon.
Alright.
LightRon falling into deep woods.
So, okay, give me a second.
Huge blunder for LightRon, and despite all the despite all of the time save that he had on Danny without those mistakes, LightRon isn't really going to be cashing in on that because of this blunder. As you can see, he's actually going to collect some moons in deep woods right now, which is probably the best game plan. With only 3 moons left, there are about 3 moons you can collect quite quickly in deep woods, and then he can take the Vine back up straight up to the Odyssey.
I mean, that is a gamer move from him. That is a big gamer move.
Yeah, that's a really, really good backup, because a lot of runners will probably take the Vine back up the Odyssey and then have to go all the way back around to pipes, and yeah, just really not great stuff. And yeah, as we can see right now, Danny going through the fire.
As you can see on Ron's face here, not a sweat. I mean, like,
yeah, he just went straight for that. Those of you who are familiar with darker side speedruns will probably recognize this route, because this is what they do in Wooded 1 in darker, and that's, I imagine, where he got this from. Really, really nice backup.
I mean, Danny has the, you know, can just work back to the Odyssey. But sorry, I'm still really.
Yeah, but LightRon is having to take the Vine up, which means that despite the missed Nut Clip, Danny is back in the lead. Yeah, this is a very crazy Wooded. I mean, again, no idea what Danny's strategy is missing a Tree Moon. He did that in the last race too, and I'm pretty sure he also missed Nut Clip in the last race, but he just went back to the Tree Moon.
I mean, this is like, there's 2 ways that LightRon could have played this, is by either panicking completely and trying to get back as soon as possible, or doing what he did, which was kind of like a mega brain or something.
That was a very, very smart backup on LightRon's part.
And as you can see now, you know, like, I mean, the difference may seem big, but like, there's really not that big of a difference if Ron plays as consistently as he always does.
And the lack of confidence in the nerves are really, really shining through now with those mistakes. But yeah, so Danny now has a 24-second lead into Cloud.
It's all a matter if Danny is gonna let that frustration, that built-in kind of anger or disappointment, if he's gonna let that get to him or not.
Exactly, yeah.
Because, you know, as someone speaking with, you know, as someone who's speaking from experience, you know, if something were to happen, like a big mistake, and you think, oh, right, you know, that's a big time loss, you know, it's very easy to, like, keep making mistakes and keep being, you know, pissed off about that.
Yeah, that's one of the best backups I've ever seen. I'm very impressed with that. Now heading into Lost, a very technically difficult kingdom. I mean, you know, Lost covered in poison and invisible barriers where you can trigger the bird to come and steal Mario's hat. It is very thin ice that you're walking on in this one, and it has some of the most technical movement in the run. So let's hope that it goes well for both runners. Danny is going for the slightly easier cap return jump meme tree instead of the dive vault that a lot of runners go for.
Let's see the butterfly movement here. That can also cause some trouble for a lot of runners.
He's going for the double jump. Yeah, that is like an intermediate strat, that double jump. But obviously very, very safe. And considering what's been going on this run, I don't blame him one bit for it.
Absolutely.
And there you go. LightRon did the dive vault meme tree that Whoa!
Ooh, Danny! No!
Danny getting caught by Klepto. Is that enough to put LightRon in the lead? We will see in about a minute, because, you know, Danny did have nearly a 30-second lead coming into this kingdom. But obviously, the bird Klepto has now just stolen Mario's hat, and he's been walked down to the start of the kingdom, so he's going to have to go and get his hat back before he continues.
I mean,
Really unfortunate.
Definitely like 100% a lead for Ron here, or LightRon, because I think, yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Here we can see now LightRon heading towards the tree moon, which Danny is right next to. And Danny starts to get the propeller moon as well. So LightRon is now in the lead, just barely in the lead.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, this is a really, really messy race. Almost as crazy as the other one. Maybe it will be as crazy as the other one once we see how this ends. Very nice RCB from Danny there.
Sharon coming in with the best emote to represent this whole race so far.
Definitely.
Monkasteer.
And Danny also
having a poor little frog, being in a panic, knowing he did not get his driver's license yet, not knowing what he's doing.
Yeah, he did unfortunately miss reverse Trapito, which did lose him a couple seconds, but K's triple looks absolutely fine for him. And you can actually hear the Lost music coming through, which is very nice, because we normally don't get that, but since he killed the boss of the kingdom, he's actually achieved world peace now, and it's got the nice music.
It's definitely a vibe, yeah. Alright, we will be going into Night Metro, which can, you know, again, be another very brutal kingdom. And I guess for a lot of runners, it can be considered like easy for like higher runners, or higher level runners. But you know, the chance to be for there to be input drops are very, very high still.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, like Lost Night Metro, it all takes place over a very large death pit, so you know, one slip up and you could lose quite a lot of time. There we go, LightRon, being 26 seconds behind into Lost, is now 19 ahead into Night Metro. Really nice position for LightRon, and let's hope that he manages to hold on to this time save through Metro, being kind of one of the more difficult kingdoms in the game.
What could possibly go wrong in this kingdom? You are absolutely right. Nothing. It's an easy kingdom, you know.
Yeah, absolutely not. I could sense some sarcasm there because Metro can be very punishing, especially the day portion.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's a big discussion as to which kingdom is harder, because, you know, in Night Metro you have to deal with a crap ton of lag. And you know, you have the inside of the tower, which is a whole nother, you know, cruel part of the kingdom, as what's it called? As of an damn. English is hard,
Danny is demonstrating right now. I mean,
yeah,
taking a bonk and falling down there.
But then again, you could also argue that Day Metro is just, you know, the taxi cycles and everything for pedestrians.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing particularly hard in either kingdom, but I feel like both have a lot of potential. Just those kind of 2 or 3 second time losses that add up and add up and add up, and it's very hard to actually finish with a clean Night or Day Metro. Just because, you know, you might not die, you might not like fall down really far and lose a bunch of time or anything like that, but if you lose 2 seconds here and there, it can really add up into quite a bad kingdom overall.
Yeah, definitely.
And let's see how LightRon handles this second phase of regular.
I do want to ask you something though. What do you think is more cruel, the first half or the second half of the run?
The run, for me, it's always been the first half. I think a lot of people would say the second half is more difficult, especially kind of as you're learning the game, it is a lot more challenging, but I think the first half is just so like optimized and has so much insane movement, and that's what I've always struggled with.
Definitely. And as speaking as a like first half Andy, you know, someone who's always in cat because of a lot of resets.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just hard. It's just so technical, and it's just like, I mean, in second half there's a lot that can go wrong, of course, but in first half there's just like, it just has wooded, I guess.
Yeah.
And you have
wooded, sand, Day Metro, some really rough splits. I think I agree with you that it's a bit more technical, and if you separate them, then I think first half is more difficult, but second half, being the second half of the run, does really actually increase its difficulty, because obviously you're going to have those nerves, especially if you're on a really fast pace. that these things that might not be quite as technically advanced suddenly become, you know, very hit or miss and very scary to perform.
Yeah. Alright, we will be... Oh, wait. Ron not pointing up his camera.
Yeah,
which...
not doing the taxi cycle minute, which we'll see how he deals with this, because it might come back to bite him in just a second when he gets the bench moon.
Getting a good drive-by, though.
Very nice drive-by, and a very nice pole jam there, too.
Alright, let's see how this goes.
And now it looks like LightRon was just fast enough to avoid the taxis. I think for me, if I didn't turn the camera down going into the kingdom, like most people do, then I would have really struggled to stay ahead of the taxi here. But LightRon is just so fast, it doesn't matter.
DannyGeffen definitely struggling a little bit here in Day Metro.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how annoyed he is. It's just every single tiny thing that goes wrong, he's wincing at, just because he knows that he needs those things to go right to cash in on this time save.
The taxi being in his way as well.
Yeah, it's because of his, he missed drive by Scoop Clip, unfortunately, so he's gonna have to find a way to deal with that. Which for him will just be ignoring the pole and going straight over to the crate.
Yeah, I've never really quite figured out a backup for that when I see a taxi,
that's
you know, in my way. I just kind of think, oh crap, I'm just screwed, I guess.
LightRon going for the very fast bullet bill cycle. Let's see how he pulls this off. I always thought it was to manipulate the taxis and stuff, but maybe I'm wrong.
I actually used to think, oh wait, alright.
Very nice.
Is that also a part of the new strat?
Yeah, that's what the new strat is. What the new strat is.
That's insane.
Bounced. And you have to turn up the camera at the start of the room for it to work. You can see here Danny is not going for it because he didn't turn up the camera. Which means that instead of bouncing on a low bullet bill, he will just be doing a spin pound and grabbing the high bullet bill straight away. Which is a little bit slower.
LightRon here pulling all the plugs, going for the craziest strats in Day Metro here,
yeah,
which can definitely be a little bit dicey here. Because if you make a mistake in Day Metro, you usually get punished for it pretty hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely here with the top of the tower, let's see how it goes. Of course, getting the roll cans. I mean, the spin pound.
Yeah, no problem for him. Danny's nailing that blind dive, which can be quite daunting. We can see both runners, because they got the extra hint art and Cloud King, are absolutely stacked for coins right now. So we'll be avoiding the hint art in the pool in Metro, because that does lose a couple of seconds to get that one.
Alright, Ron also getting the spin pounds nice and clean. None of them going for reverse people.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Reverse people is not an easy thing to do, and it's only really started entering high-level runs quite recently, I think. There's a chance that Danny will go for it as the person with the highest skill level as well, and he is going for the triple jump off the trash can and absolutely nailing it. As you can see, Mario's kind of going to warp to that top pole in a way that he shouldn't, but it just kind of works, and we don't question it. We just let it happen, which does save a good couple of seconds, unless he misses a cycle right now because of that mistake. And he does! Ooh. He misses the cycle!
I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I mean, this whole room is on a timer, and just one small mistake like that, like re-grabbing the pole, can mean that you do miss the moon at the end of the room. That loses quite a lot of time. I mean, that is not what Danny needs right now, being so far behind already.
Yeah, speaking of which, let's see the gathering a bit. Wait, hold on, I'll be right back.
Problem. I am alone now. Alright. Yeah, I mean, LightRon has got a pretty huge lead right now. Let's have a look at what it is once Danny leaves Day Metro. But LightRon is heading up to the first moon in Snow Kingdom with some very, very nice movement. Very well done. And yeah, a 41-second lead for LightRon. That is a pretty big lead. Nothing that, you know, Danny can't catch back up on, but, you know, it's going to be difficult for him. Very nice triple jump and very clean roll cancel ground pound into Shafarian. No problems there.
I have returned.
Welcome back. LightRon has a 41-second lead right now.
That is crazy. Having a small bonk here, which is not really worth noting because of the big time difference between those two.
LightRon has this wiggle room to make these mistakes, so you know he doesn't have to play super safe if he doesn't want to. But I think that probably is the best strategy to do. Is just to kind of not go for the crazy stuff. Maybe take the 1 or 2 seconds of time loss that he gets for doing slower strats. But you know, if he can keep his lead as much as he can, then that's all he needs.
Yeah, but missing the clip there though, which only loses about a second.
You can see Danny very nicely getting that movement that LightRon bonks on, but LightRon is getting the boosted triple jump. Turning the camera towards the blowy Joey there, losing, you know, almost half a second on that dive, having just... Oh, okay.
LightRon giving the same reaction as I do.
Yeah, that was terrifying. Very nice spiking it though. We'll just gloss over that. That didn't happen. I didn't see anything.
No.
So Danny also missed a moon clip there. It is a very strange one. I mean, you know, technically it's the same timing as a nut clip, but it just doesn't seem to work as much. I think the wall is a very slightly weird shape. Yeah, we can see Danny is turning the camera away from where he's diving, which means he can just dive straight away instead of having to turn Mario around in midair, which does save around 0.3 seconds from what I've been told. Very tiny optimizations, but these are the type of things that these runners will be looking at is, you know, when I collect a moon, if I turn the camera, you know, how can I save time with that? And these 0.3 time saves across the run will add up to a few seconds.
Alright, and Ron getting the moon and heading into Snowdram, which at this level and with his consistency, I don't think that'll be a problem at all. I
sincerely hope it's not a problem, but you never know what can happen.
That's true. I will keep my mouth shut to, you know, prevent commentator's curse.
Commentator's curse is a very real and very scary thing.
Definitely. Also, Danny playing with his luck there. Like, he left the third Goomba there at the ledge, and what I've experienced is that they just kind of sometimes walk off.
They can, yeah. The Goombas do have the tendencies just to walk off edges and just end your run, which really sucks. But it happens more than you might like to think.
So I'm glad that didn't happen for Danny here.
Messing up slightly, going for the setup instead of setupless absolutely makes sense.
Will he make this?
Yeah, okay, no, that was absolutely fine. That was a pretty textbook Snowdram. Yeah. Very well done.
I don't know. That looked a little bit dicey to me at first.
Yeah, I think he capped through slightly earlier than a lot of people would, but you know, it's absolutely no problem. He's able to bring it back with some good factors.
Definitely not. Or is, I don't know.
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
You're good, you're good.
And Danny here going for setupless and getting it.
Tons of room to
no
spare. Very nice.
At all.
Alright, little breather for both runners, hopefully, in Seaside. Relatively easy kingdom, but you know, there's still time saves in it, there's still things that can go wrong. But it should be a time, basically, to collect themselves, collect their nerves, collect their thoughts, and get ready for the big kicker, which is luncheon.
Zack in the box, can you make the funny pun you did previous race?
What, a chance for them to cool off?
Ah, yes. Absolutely love to hear it. Also, LightRon having a small bonk here.
Yeah, a little bit of difficulty getting with the first moon. I mean, it's a relatively precise moon, that one, no matter what strat you go for, so
definitely.
I don't blame him.
Definitely like a 50% chance to bonk there, or, you know, get a value dive. I do see a lot of value dives personally there at that point, you know, when you're trying to get to...
Yeah, it hasn't really been a problem for me, but I can see how it could be,
Like, a lot of the times for me, like, I try to get over there and I just get a value dive. It's absolutely awful.
Yeah. Very nice roll cancel bounce.
Yeah.
Capturing that fish super fast. A indeed, JB.
Let's see this fish dip here from LightRon doing the high leveled setup here, being halfway out and inbound.
Fine. Very well done
Yeah.
there. Obviously going for the slightly slower double bonk setup, but that's a lot more consistent. And I think a lot of runners, even above LightRon's level, around the 57 level, I still see people doing that double bonk.
Although the SRC is what it's called, right? What Danny just did. No. The roll cancel bounce or whatever.
RCB.
RCB.
Roll cancel bounce. Yeah.
You know the roll cancel bounce there. Ooh.
Oh, Danny clipped back in. Really unfortunate.
Both of Ron and Danny just did though, like in seaside. That's pretty hard, right?
It's not that bad. It's one of the easier ones in the game.
It is?
What is hard that they did both manage to get is there's a way of manipulating Mario as you enter the water after that roll cancel bounce. By holding neutral on the stick, kind of like the same few frames that Mario touches the surface of the water, and for some reason it causes him to just kind of like propel forwards under the water instead of dropping down directly downwards, which can lead to a slightly faster fish capture.
That does sound hard, yeah.
But there you go. I mean, yeah, Danny, he obviously got fish dip, but honestly, the harder part than just getting the clip is he out of bounds, and that's something that runners struggle with a lot. And as you can see, it didn't go too well for Danny, and he did accidentally clip back in, losing, obviously losing the time save that fish dip saves, but even more on top of that, because setting it up, taking the two fish bonks and clipping out of bounds does take time in itself. So then to clip and bounce after that is really not a good position.
That was definitely one of my more primal concerns when the clip came out. Like, the whole bonking shenanigans and everything, that does lose a lot of time. And again, the door cycle being messed up, made it a little bit dicey, but it still saved. So,
It did, yeah. And here we are, Luncheon Kingdom. Very, very scary kingdom. And could be... it could be a match changer. Ooh. I mean, the bonk on salt triple is not a good start. And he did unfortunately take 2 damage there as well.
And not do that again. Okay, cool. He did get it in the end, so that is good for him.
Yeah, that is absolutely not a fantastic start to Luncheon Kingdom for LightRon, and that's not what he's going to be looking for. And let's hope that he can kind of get this under wraps and just have that as kind of an isolated incident.
Definitely. Yeah. LightRon going for Spiritless Luncheon.
Very nice triple jump. Absolutely nailing the Spirit skip and heading into some area. I'm absolutely certain Danny will be going for this too.
Wishing the best of luck to Ron heading into Spiritless Luncheon here. And Danny about to get in there as well.
Ooh, going for focus. He fell down, but managed to save himself before he took damage. And just
Danny not going for Spiritless Luncheon here.
Wow, yeah, that's surprising to me. But honestly, I can see why. Like, he is quite far behind right now. He is 41 seconds behind.
Yeah, he seems frustrated and yeah.
Exactly. He just might not be in the right mental space to go for something as difficult as that. And we saw in the last race, like, Bugfish was behind into Luncheon and ended up ahead out of Luncheon for the simple reason that Bugfish didn't go for Spiritless and his opponent Hotboy did, and Spiritless is so hard that Hotboy ended messing up quite a few things anyway. So let's see how LightRon plays this, because there is definitely enough time loss in this kingdom to put Danny ahead.
Definitely, for sure. Although so far, especially with the speed boost there, he is doing pretty well so far.
Yeah, this has been pretty good so far, apart from the mistake with the 4.
Oh, right, yeah, that.
Yeah, he's getting his lava bounce and heading into the next area.
Which is one of the easier parts, if not one of the easiest sub-areas in
I mean, things definitely can go wrong, but
yeah, definitely.
It's not too bad. But we're gonna see...
If it goes wrong, then it's one of the most punishing sub-areas.
Yeah, because you do just die if you mess it up, unfortunately. But we are going to see Danny here collecting quite a few moons in town that LightRon will be coming back to in a second. Which is going to make it kind of a little bit more difficult to see who's in the lead until we reach closer towards the end of the kingdom.
Alright. Now comparing this to the previous race that we saw with Hot Boy going for Spiritless Luncheon, excuse me, you can see, at least in my opinion, a lot more consistency with the strat and a lot more, you know, you can see the confidence as well.
Yeah, I mean, having this much of a lead is definitely going to kind of take some of the edge off of the nerves and hopefully help LightRon to just focus up and, you know, not mess up anything huge. Like, it's okay to make those little mistakes, but as long as he just keeps us cool and doesn't do anything too crazy, he should be able to keep us lead.
Definitely. And, you know, I am speaking from this relatively early, but we will be heading into the block jump, the dreaded block jump here in a second. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, that is what killed Hot Boy's Luncheon in the last run, so let's hope that it goes well for LightRon. And if not, this will be Danny's chance to catch back up again, because this jump can be absolutely brutal.
Yeah, DannyGeffen getting the cheese here in a bit. Which, again, yeah, if he gets block jump here, you know, flawlessly, then LightRon should be fine.
There you go, absolutely no problems. Really, really well performed with Danny a little bit behind. I mean, you know, Danny's in a very similar spot in the kingdom, but after grabbing this moon, he is going to have to watch a few quite long cutscenes, whereas LightRon's going to be skipping them all, just grabbing a couple more moons and then heading home to the next kingdom.
And LightRon going into the sub area here. Let's see how that goes. Because I do know from experience, especially for casual players or with unexperienced players, this sub area is awful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's, for speedrunners, it's really too much of a struggle, but it is quite precise, and obviously just one slightly wrong stick angle, and you're just going to be diving straight off of the platforms.
Definitely, especially when going fast, you know, you're going to be in a rush, and every time you die, you know, you want to get faster, you know, you want to make up for that time. And it's just awful. But yeah. DannyGeffen getting the, you know, getting the moon here in the pot in a bit, having to watch 2 cutscenes and having to listen to Cappy talk about whatever's going on in the kingdom after, you know, getting this multi-moon, not caring in a world, because we're going to be leaving right again, because our only objective here is to save Peach as soon as we can.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, very, very good luncheon from LightRon. I mean, he's going to be super happy with that, and that is just about all he needs right now.
Definitely.
Yeah, it looks like he did lose around 20 seconds to his gold. So, you know, for a PB attempt, this would not be super optimal for him, but it's not a big deal in this setting, and he still has a huge lead on Danny.
Alright, and we will be heading into the Ruined Kingdom with the boss fight. That is basically just a side scroller, as you called the previous race, Zach. Now we do have to mention something here in a bit. Legally, we are obliged to tell you about, you know, our runners here in a bit. Yeah, I suggest you go follow them. They are both amazing runners, very skilled. And yeah, and I also suggest you go ahead and follow this channel, because we are, you know, as we've mentioned before, we still have plenty of very cool and excited races to come. And of course, don't forget to follow Zach. He's an amazing commentator.
Hey,
you'll be seeing another link in there. You'll just have to ignore that one. It's not a safe link, man.
No. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
And also one more thing. Do not, I mean, if you've got a few, you know, dollars, euros, whatever, laying around, and you wish to, you know, donate it to something, do not, or just feel free feel free to donate that and you know, invest into how do you say that?
The community-funded prize pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, helps increase the competitive nature of these races, and you know, it's very cool when these runners are fighting for a large prize. It is already at $116. Let's see if we can get it up to 200 by the end of the tournament.
Yeah.
Even just $1 or $2 would help.
And 2 more people that I have to give a shout out to, even as we are, you know, even as Ron is, you know, wrapping up this fight. Go, you know, give a round of applause, I guess, I don't know, to the person, our big stat sheet guy, Matsy, you know, just, you know, writing all of that stuff down. It's incredibly detailed. Make sure to check it out. It's honestly a little bit mind-blowing, as you can hear it from me right now. And do not forget to give you know, our organizer Saren here a follow. I forgot to mention his previous race, but of course, you know, gotta give credit where credit is due.
No, it's a very hard work, yeah. Yeah. Also, like the stream. We haven't said that yet. Like the stream. Our 32 likes. This is our most liked stream ever. Like the stream, guys.
Yeah.
There you go. Well done. We've got our mandatory self-promo out of the way, and it's now time to focus back on the run as LightRon is heading into Bowser's Kingdom.
No credit.
Yeah, Dan's are also
yeah,
I mean, he does a little bit of work on the stat sheet, you know. I mean, I guess we can give him a shout out, but you know, he's I don't know. He's kind of mid in my opinion.
No, of course, don't forget to give Dennis a follow. He has a 57-2 and is a very talented runner. So do not forget to give him a follow as well.
Alright, LightRon taking a bonk there. I mean, you know, his lead is insane right now. It's a 28-second lead. But that could all fall apart very quickly, especially, again, there are a few places in Bowser's Kingdom. There's shards, there's the boss fights, there's pipeless, and there's mech, where you can very easily lose 28 seconds or more. And if Danny kind of, you know, uses his insane movement and kind of gets these strats, for example, let's see how this goes. Not taking a bonk there, immediately saving 3 or 4 seconds on LightRon and just closing that gap slowly and slowly.
Definitely. Danny going for the long jump here and getting the ogre without any problem.
Nice. Alright, let's see how LightRon handles this shards, which is one of the more difficult places, or one of the most difficult places in the run.
Definitely.
Right here.
Let's see what's up.
Alright, he's going for new shards first of all. Not an easy strat. There's something definitely really struggling to grab this first one here. He is, yeah, he was just homing in far too early after the cap throw. Lost himself quite a bit of time there, missing that so many times. Let's hope he makes it onto the roof here. Yeah, that's good. That jump is quite tight, and he's going to be trying to break this crate without capturing the bird. Looks like an absolutely good setup, and gets it, no problem. But yeah, Danny also having a little bit of problem with the first shard. It is just not treating these runners well today. Manages to get it slightly faster than LightRon and heads over to the third shard without bonking, so saving a bit more time there. I mean, yeah, these small time losses on LightRon's end might be what eventually gives Danny the lead back. We'll have to see.
Danny taking some damage here. Definitely being frustrated about the run so far. I do not blame him.
Yeah, it's been a really rough ride for him.
And LightRon getting the insta-dive here. Going for, of course, going for that 15-minute time save I talked about in this race.
This looks like a Zar bomber setup, yeah, absolutely. He's going for the slightly weird Zar bomber, which I've never personally understood, but, you know, it works just the same as the other one. Managing to keep that bomb in midair to hit straight back at her on the second phase. Second phase, a really, really fast strat, and very cool one indeed.
Making sure to collect all of the coins, just because.
No, the coins actually matter to collect
really?
there, believe it or not, yeah. So when you line up the first person for the third phase and then throw Cappy, if there are coins there, basically Cappy will kind of home in on the coins, even without homing in. You know, if you throw Cappy next to a coin, right?
He will home into
he will throw onto the coin. Even though you aimed him next to the coin, he will move onto that coin and grab it, which can absolutely mess up. I think most runners find that out the hard way when they decide not to get rid of the coins one time and then realize, oh wait, yeah, I forgot, that doesn't work.
I did not know that you did possibly save me there.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, LightRon has lost some of his lead right now because he is just collecting that moon. It's going to be a 52-11 bunnies fade out, and then for Danny, 52-12. There you go, getting a 39-40, 52-40. So, yeah, I think actually it might be a very similar lead. I don't know. It's really hard to say at this point, but, you know, it's going to need quite a big mistake from LightRon either way on the neck fight or somewhere in Moon.
Which we have seen, so you never know.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically the same position as the last race, and then the underdog still managed to pull through, so we'll see what happens. Not going for Pipeless, understandably, very difficult strat.
I do not expect to see that anywhere aside from Tyrone and BTT.
Yeah, it's not a nice one. Nice save, very nice save, LightRon. He unfortunately missed the poke on the wall, lost the Pokio, but managed to save himself from falling into poison. Falling into poison there would have reset him all the way to the bunny's moon. It would have been very, very far back to any checkpoint. So that is a very nice save on LightRon's part. Obviously, does still lose time. Danny went for Pipeless, didn't manage to get up top, and just decided to take a pipe in the end, which is a very respectable idea. Even if he still might have been able to pull it off from that position he was in, it's definitely worth it just to do the safer thing. Especially when we can see LightRon's nerves are starting to play up. Danny doing the exact same thing, but taking a death! Literally the exact same mistake, the exact same one, but he didn't manage to save himself like LightRon did. It was so close. As you can see, he's managing, just having to go all the way back up again.
That is tragic.
That is really tragic. Poor Danny. Not what he needed in this one right now.
Definitely not. You can see it on his face. He is about done with this really race, just looking to finish him. Yeah.
Oh! Alright, managing to land back on top of the mech. Falls down anyway when going for the ground pound. Alright, LightRon with a little bit of a mech meltdown, but you know, without that death that Danny took, Danny might actually be pulling ahead right here because of that. But I think LightRon will be able to clutch this out.
Yeah.
Regardless.
I feel the obligation to shut up here. Yeah. Commentator's curse.
And there you go, LightRon killing the mech a good bit ahead of Danny. Definitely not something that Danny can't catch back up on in Moon, but it's gonna be really difficult. I mean, you know, this is a pretty solid lead for LightRon.
Definitely, it's gonna take a pretty big meltdown in Moon for Danny to have the possibility to catch back up. Doing new TA and getting it. Still not feeling all too good about himself, it seems, but still, that is pretty hard strat to pull off.
I mean, new TA is hard and does save a decent amount of time, but obviously it's not enough to even put a dent in a lead that LightRon has right now.
So let's see how this Moon goes. Zach, what was the iconic quote I talked about in previous race?
Oh, you know, I'm completely stumped. I have the memory of a goldfish, I'm telling you. I couldn't even remember who the last races were.
It all comes down to
Moon. Oh, it all
Moon.
comes down to Moon. That's the one, yeah. It all comes down to Moon.
Yeah. And definitely for us, Europeans and all of the people, the UK and everything, it's getting quite late. And we have seen a lot of very big, races today with moment so incredible and mind-blowing that we are a little speechless from it.
Yeah. I mean, the tiredness isn't just setting in for us. I'm sure it's setting in for the races too, you know? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know how
definitely.
screwed up their sleep schedules are, but it is approaching midnight for both of them. Which, you know, that definitely does have an effect on gameplay. I definitely play worse when I am kind of low on sleep, so let's hope it doesn't affect them too much.
Yeah, alright. And LightRon going for a very beautiful and big triple. Going for the straightest line that I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Heading into Mooncave Skip, or onto Mooncave Skip. Doing that small vector and jump with the flower.
Yeah, just those tiny little optimizations, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got one wall jump, which is the faster way of doing skip, but obviously a lot more risky. You can bonk on it.
Yeah, that was definitely a bit scary, because if he had bonked, then it would have meant for his death, probably. It's very hard to recover from that, like if you bonked on Mooncave Skip. And you're already like you're on your way to the bridge, you know. That can cost you the race and the run.
Yeah.
Ooh, Danny. Ooh! Doing a strat that I've never seen before. That's pretty new.
Unfortunately, I was looking at LightRon's gameplay. I didn't see what happened. Was it just like a faster way after Moon?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
Like he did the normal Mooncave Skip, you know, and then he lined up Cappy and did some kind of vault, you know, instead of just
okay, yeah. I think I've seen that before.
Okay, both of them being in the Bowser fight, of course, you know, LightRon heading into escape here, what am I saying? Yeah, escape in a bit, and...
Nearly escape, we're nearly there.
Yeah, nearly. And then he's still in the second phase. Which might not seem like a big lead, because, you know, they're in the same area, but it's still quite a big...
Quite long.
Yeah. Especially the third one, you have to deal with a lot of... Yeah.
But like, of course, he knows how many tail swipes there are, and kills Bowser no problem. And it is escape. A death and escape would be enough for Danny to catch
Definitely.
Up, I can very much imagine LightRon is going to be taking this as safe as he possibly can.
A death and escape is like 2 minutes? Depending on where you are.
I mean, yeah, it depends where you die. If you die right at the end, then it is around 2 minutes, yeah.
Which is quite insane to think about.
Yeah.
So it would need to take, like, I don't think that LightRon's going for 2 DSS. So it would take like a 2D death, something like that for Danny to...
Yeah, I mean, well, we'll see, because Danny is now just entering escape. So if from where LightRon dies right now, he will end up where Danny just is right then.
Yeah.
So from this point onwards, a death for LightRon will put Danny in the lead, basically. Oh my gosh. Bonking his head twice on 2D skip there, absolutely terrifying all of us, but, you know, he managed to save it, absolutely no problems there.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Let's see what Danny does, because he has been pulling all the plugs.
He really has, yeah.
And Mech. Just opting to go for a normal. More than fair, I respect that. And getting, or saving like 2 seconds on LightRon here. I don't know what a...
Somewhere around that, I think so. Yeah, LightRon is in pillars, cat jams, and
yeah, definitely.
This run.
Give some cat jams, and I don't really know what the Pokemon emote is.
That is Pit Plump Stat.
Alright. And that's a wrap.
Very nice. 101.20 from LightRon. No, definitely not his best run, but I don't think either runner were at their peak. You know, both of them definitely had some nerves and stuff. Danny is struggling a little bit with that first pillar, but managed to get it in the end. As he moves around, breaks all the others.
And let's see, Danny finishes one out as well.
Oh, breaking the final pillar now, heading towards the middle. Ooh, almost taking a death there. That was actually scarily close.
And of course, no invisible for both runners, fortunately.
Yeah, absolutely no problems there as Danny breaks open the final block and finishes with a 1:02.09. Very good time. Well, congratulations to LightRon for the win, and congratulations to Danny as well. He's obviously very unhappy with that run, straight away closing the game. But yeah, I think we do have both runners in the booth right now. I will say congratulations, LightRon. We'll come back to you in a minute. We'll start with Danny. Danny, I don't think you're too happy about that one, are you?
No, I'm really happy. I did incredible. I played only 15 of my 101.54 that I got last race. That's just, I'm really happy with this.
Yeah, I don't think your consistency is super high right now. Do you know why that might be?
No, I have no clue. I've been playing really bad for, I don't know what reason. And I think it might be because I'm going too risky on my backups. I lose more time than I wanted to. Like what happened in Lost, for example, that was purely me like trying to not lose as much time while getting clapped up.
Yeah, that's definitely a hard learning curve, is trying to, you know, when you mess up something, is not trying to go too fast to get back to where you were, but instead take a couple of extra seconds to just readjust yourself. So yeah, I hope you can sort that out for the rest of the tournament and get enough wins to get you through to the next round, and I'm sure you can. Yeah, congratulations again. You finished out the run either way, which is, you know, that still takes a lot of endurance, so well done on that.
Yeah.
Now we'll go to LightRon. Congratulations on the win. How are you feeling about that
one? It was hard. It was really hard mentally, the whole race. Like, I really struggled to go to the end. Danny had a really, really good early game. I was like, I didn't play that bad, and it's so far ahead. I'm just gonna keep going and try my best. And when I saw I was ahead in Woodhead, I tried to play a little bit safe, and it cost me a big chaos dive in the deep woods, unfortunately. I'm glad that I got 205 lost just after to refocus again on my race. It really helped me a lot. And at the end, it was very painful to finish. I didn't have that much energy left to pull out the time I get. I would have loved to get a 1-0 with more than a minute loss in Woodhead, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely a battle of endurance for both of you. You know, neither of you had a, you know, particularly fantastic run for your PB level, but both of you still managed to stick it out. And yeah, there are a couple of things I want to talk about in Wooded real quick. First of all, LightRon, your backup for falling into deep woods, doing the darker route, was really clever. I wouldn't have thought of that, but that is such a good way of backing up a deep woods fall. Is that something you would usually go for, or did you make that up?
I know that if I fell in deep woods in this spot, I don't have that much moons left to get to be able to finish with it. So I'm glad that I did some darker areas.
Yeah.
To on the category to be able to do that, but unfortunately I don't know the not the seeds, but where do you need to plant the nut to get next to the DC? I forgot the spot. So I just wanted to go to
a random one,
the top again and warp after. But...
Yeah. Maybe that's something to look into. Yeah, well done. And Danny, what is this with you skipping the tree moon? Could you explain this to us?
Please, dude.
Earlier today, Okay, listen, so pretty much my plan was I'm playing it safe, I'm just not doing tree routes, so like whatever bullshit could happen in with it is not happening. Because earlier today, I was on 501 pace into tower without tree route, okay? So I was just like, okay, cool, I won't do it then. But then, the second race in a row that I missed Knuckle, I just messed it up. I don't know what it is. I just missed it again. And then it's, I had to come up with some backup. And I really doubt that like going back to the tree moon was faster, like getting the fire broom.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, I think you probably played that wooded as good as you could have with that mistake. But yeah, congratulations again, both of you. Best of luck moving forwards in this tournament.
Definitely.
And thank you so much for being a wonderful commentator as always, Combo.
Thank you very much. You too, my man. It's always great having you.
But that was our final match of the night, I believe. So thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss another stream and to help support us. And spread the word next time we're live. Get as many of your friends here as you can as possible because we have some seriously cool stuff going down at CCG.
And if you don't want to miss it, don't forget to hit that bell, as most YouTubers say.
Yeah, like proper YouTubers, yeah. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. UTC, and we will see you all then. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.